you to strike back against it peacefully and lawfully, because this is the greatest time in our lives, in our history. They're trying to take down America right now. And if we don't win this election coming up, it's going to be an even crazier fight. So we need to understand the next month and a half, the next 2 months is so incredibly critical. Only, 81 days, ladies and gentlemen, 81 days. I told you that we could retake America. If you believed in capitalism, if you believed in freedom, if you believed in God, if you believed that you had some control over your destiny. And now we're here. As we're in the hottest part of the summer, going into the fall, the left is calling for civil war, total censorship of InfoWars. They're lying about the president more than more, calling for violence against him, calling for him to be removed, calling for his family to be kidnapped, murdered, tortured. It's everywhere. And then Trump says mainstream media is the enemy of the American.
Here we go again. See how it's not snapped on YouTube?
The critical battle. Getting Trump in was just the beachhead. Now the real fight for liberty begins. We're entering the season of false flags, where the mainstream media knows it has no viewers, knows that it's basically now just corporate engines of censorship, just like the colleges. And so they're putting out the breadcrumbs out there, clearly having their own people, in my view, calling into C-SPAN and, calling for CNN to get shot. I've been telling you that's coming. So we need to stop the violence. We need to say no violence. We need to decry violence so that when and if they stage events, people see through it. I came out the day the drone attack happened in Venezuela, before any other media picked it up, and I said, I don't hear any explosions, I don't see any smoke, this looks totally staged in the video I see. And now even our own government and foreign governments are saying it appears to be a false flag. False flags do happen. Some things are real, obviously, but communists and scumbags, like the dictator of Venezuela who has staged elections, I believe has staged this. So don't think the Democrats, who are totally desperate, won't pull that card of victim when they're building it up, building it up, building it up. How many months have I been saying we're entering the false flag area where CNN or MSNBC or these other terrorist organizations against America that terrorize the truth, that lobby for the end of free speech, that lobby for their competitors to be taken off the air, that send out the reporters to stalk people and harass them? They're murderers and assassins of truth, and don't think their bosses aren't willing to go all the way. With that said, there is a way to defeat them and stand against their attempts to shut us down. Spread the articles, spread the videos, tell people in person about Infowars.com and Newswars.com. Download the free app at Infowars.com/app, and then tell people, hey, it's a great app. Video feeds, audio feeds, it's free. News alerts, this is the censored info they don't want you to have. Infowars.com/app or Infowars.com/newsletter. You go there and sign up for free for the newsletter. We can get you info that even if it's censored off everywhere else, you will be able to receive it. And if you take the challenge at InfoWarsLife.com and get things that everybody needs, like high-quality krill oil, fish oil, honor roll for kids, the very best, highest quality, and learn about all the amazing things it does, that funds our operation. If you sign up for auto ship, get additional 10% off that way each month or every 2 months, whatever you sign up for, cancel anytime. Continues to fund us so you don't have to worry about it. You can get it done and know that you're tithing to the truth. You're tithing to your future. You're tithing against tyranny, for liberty, to an operation. Themselves have been completely shadow banned or have been governed, curtailed down over 90%. And that Breitbart studies show conservative sites on Facebook, Google and Apple platforms like Breitbart and the Daily Caller and others have been cut back 93% from 80% just a few months ago on their reach. They're not letting people communicate. They're not letting users on Facebook go to the Breitbart website or the InfoWars website and share it. They're getting in front of them preemptively. Companies engage in false advertising. They advertise as the public square as long as you've played by their rules. But their rules are all subjectively put into place by SJW leftists that have been hired to run and captain these systems. So again, Congress and the president's inaction, and we the people's inaction, has created a vacuum and a perfect storm where dying dinosaur media, the scared Democratic Party that the public's realigning against, and foreign governments have now colluded to bring in total internet control. I know Congress is aware that Senator Warner has circulated plans to have the Democrats take over the web if they win the midterms. I'm sure you've seen Senator Murphy say that, quote, I'm the tip of an iceberg of conservative news that needs to be banned. I'm sure you know all this is going on. I'm sure you know that Google's moving to China and setting up a censorship search engine there, and that their own executives have leaked in mainstream news here, but it got no attention, that they're helping set up censorship engines here because they're going to unify it with China. China is now the giant sucking sound. And because we won't stand up for true net neutrality, and because we won't stand up for a true Internet Bill of Rights, we're no longer the leader in the world by advocating our responsibility, by stepping down and letting China and the EU and the big banks and corrupt Silicon Valley, trained by the big universities, the big America-hating groups, to want to silence flyover country. This is devastating information. Here's some of the articles just today. Twitter purges accounts across the platform again. Anyone that had ever had any strikes or ever had any problems, well, now you're being completely banned. Social media platform Twitter has begun banning a large number of accounts from the website, specifically focusing on accounts that have previously been banned or have received suspensions. And they're going after everybody, from Gavin McInnes to Laura Loomer. And then continuing here, here's another one, Politico. Welcome to the new era of global digital censorship. It's dangerous to ask tech companies to decide what's legitimate free speech. Well, they don't. The Democratic Party, the Southern Poverty Law Center, the ADL, Snopes, Media Matters run by George Soros, they all have created databases have now been brought in as the fact checkers to flag information. You know the famous disinfo that they're constantly getting caught involved in.
Here we go again.
Communicate with them. They're trying to censor us, but they can't stop you going around them directly to them digitally, or directly to the Capitol, or directly to their home offices. Go in, sit down with their chief of staff, go sit down with their people and show them this. And whoever does this will be the champion of the First Amendment and will get incredible support from the left and right. The left at the grassroots level, who aren't complete tyrants, are upset about this. Noam Chomsky's upset about this. This is dangerous, folks. This is serious. Again, Apple banned Alex Jones, InfoWars. Then the dominoes started to fall. Vox calls for everything I do to be banned. And then now they brag, get rid of all the conservatives. And I've got articles in my stack today where congressional candidates across the country aren't even allowed to communicate on Facebook or Twitter with their users. They can't put out their campaign ads. Those are blocked. They can't even pay to have them run. But Democrats can all run their ads. Now, that is a donation in kind. Imagine if ABC, National News, you tried to buy a political ad with them, and they said no, but then they took your competitor's ad. Imagine if a local CBS affiliate, you tried to go buy a bunch of ads for your run for governor, say, in Massachusetts. They say, we're not letting you because you're a Republican, but we're going to let the Democrat run. Come on, folks. This is racketeering. This is unfair trade practices. This is criminal. This is corrupt. This is out of control. Ads that are being run, one we're showing right now, are Asian Americans and others showing their families and how they love America and how they're winners and how they're not victims. And the Democrats are saying, you're not going to run those ads because you're telling America that they're not demoralized. You're telling America they're winners. You're telling America that you're doing a great job. And the ad we're showing right now for TV viewers, for radio listeners, is on Infowars.com. It's been banned. Good, wholesome ads of congresswomen from Tennessee talking about how they love America, how they love their family, and good conservative candidates from places like New York, banned from even advertising, banned from the marketplace. Oh, but they're private companies. They can do what they want. The newspaper wouldn't take your money to run an ad? That wouldn't be unfair trade practices? That wouldn't be discrimination? That wouldn't be a scandal? That wouldn't be something you talk about? Congress is asleep at the switch, and this is the big issue. The president has tried. He's spoken some about how shadow banning is illegal. Twitter's just playing games with me right now to act like I violated their rules so they can go on the news and misrepresent what I've said and not show it. Jack Dorsey, Jones, says he wants to kill the media with guns. I know it's terrible, but I suspended him for it. So when they do finally ban me, it looks legitimate. I never threaten anybody with guns. It's a lie. Antifa says they're coming to your house to kill Congress members and law enforcement. Have your firearms ready to protect yourself. That's the Second Amendment. But everything's like a big university now, a big brainwashing center. I'm honored to be in the crosshairs. I swore before God that I would stand against the globalists, and as long as God gives me strength and air in my lungs and my big red heart full of light, I'll march on forward, stumbling sometimes, but always with grim determination, climbing the hill, always getting stronger even as I get weaker, even as I prepare to go into our final launch phase. And the enemy is sharpening their knives. I enter the arena with love in my heart and light in my eyes. Please support us. We'll be right back. Let's go ahead and talk to Make America Great Again. Titan, you're on the air. Go ahead.
The man, the truth, the resistance, Alex Jones. I'm a Hispanic Trump supporter / info warrior. I have a couple points to make, but I want to plug for you real quick. Survival Shield, Native Iodine X2, life-changing. Super Male Vitality, life-changing. Brain Force Plus, life-changing.